The younger signs in astrology. So this is interesting. Is it always the case that these earlier signs in the sort of year tend to be the youngest ones? Most of the time, yes. So obviously Aries is the youngest. This is the first of the signs. This is considered like the baby. So again, what this means is anywhere you have Aries in your chart is going to be an area where you either have the potential to be, again, because it's instinct based, right? So that means you're going to act out of instinct. It may not be something you've thought out, right? Because a baby can't think things out, it's just going to react. So it's an area that shows that you're going to be a little bit more youthful, right? And this can be like you're naive or you don't have the ability to regulate emotions, but it can also be that you maybe this is an area you're a bit more playful, right? And you just sort of do, you experience. It's not something that you sort of hold back on of like, oh, maybe people won't be okay with it, this kind of thing. Like you just go, well, I want to do it, so I'm just going to do it, right? So that's kind of more of like a childlike energy. So that's going to come through. Now, when I personally think, like, obviously Taurus is the youngest of the earth signs, and I would agree, but there's also quite a strong maturity about this sign, so it's an interesting one, I guess. But I'd say, like, Gemini, this is another. This is like your teenager. This is like teenager vibes, or, well, maybe even lower, actually. This might be more of your sort of toddler to young child sort of situation. Again, it's still very instinct based, but it's more around, well, how do I have fun, how do I make this sort of playful? So again, wherever you have Gemini, you're going to kind of have that youthful, silly kind of exuberant, and it also shows where you're, wherever you have these placements, you're going to be a little bit younger, and that can also apply to how you look. It can kind of keep you younger looking as well. Cancer obviously is the youngest of the water signs. And again, that's interesting too because it's considered the mother, but it's also the birth of things, right? The birth of life, the creation of life. So again, that also shows like a youthful quality. So again, obviously diet, lifestyle, all these things come into play. And if you want to know more about sort of aging and how all that works, obviously I'll go into it. But it's a good place to start if you want to understand how you actually age. You have to look in areas like the sixth house, for instance, your first house, probably the 10th house as well, because this is going to show where you gain and attain power. And so all of these can give you indicators as to if you have one of the more older, mature signs, you're probably going to mature faster than if you had one of the more immature ones. But it does create some interesting indicators as to how we come across and how we experience life.